if you had to pick a book
Okay.
for somebody to read that is up and coming into witchcraft or discovering their spirituality, what would you
Sure.
direct them to? What would be your go-to for them?
So I have two answers to this.
Other than the United States Constitution. Welcome to Splintered Spirits, a podcast hosted by me, Gary, and my nephew, John Santa from Santa Paranormal. Usually on this show, we talk about the past haunting the present, spirits, energy, and splintered memories. But today, we're talking about a very literal ghost. We are looking at a law from 1861, written during the Civil War, that crawled out of the history books in 2023 to haunt a business owner in Hanover, Pennsylvania. It sounds like fiction, but it is very real. We are talking about a police chief, a 160-year-old ban on fortune-telling, and a threat of arrest for simply reading tarot cards. Our guests today didn't back down. Instead of closing up shop, they took the fight to the courts. Beck Ravenswood is the owner and operator of the Serpent's Key Shop and Sanctuary, a space dedicated to exploring earth-based spirituality in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Beck has been studying witchcraft since their teens, and is here to tell us what happens when the legal system tries to put magic on trial. Let's dive into the conversation. Beck, welcome to Splintered Spirits.
Hi, thanks so much for having me and being interested in my story.
How could anybody not be interested in your story?
I agree. How could anybody
Oh
not
my gosh,
be?
you guys are too nice. I'm just a little guy, I promise. I'm just some random guy in Pennsylvania.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
you know what? No, you're not anymore. Now you're someone whose witchy sauce is going to be all over the place.
You know, that's what we're trying. At least trying to make that community more open for folks.
Yes.
At least.
So Beck, before we get into this story for everybody, I just let's get a little background on you. So tell us about your experience, how you became a witch, how you sort of fell into it. What's your background like?
Now, no one believes me when I say this, but the reason that I got into witchcraft and Wicca was actually because of Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Yeah, 1,000%. So in like 2001 or 2002, there was a movie that went out called Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, and one of the characters, they were in this like goth girl band called
the Hex Witches.
Yeah,
the Hex Witches. That is so. Let me tell you, I love that. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So there's a scene where Thorn goes, "We're not witches, we're Wiccans," and that like seared itself into my brain at the tender age of like 10. And then
oh my God.
I was given, it was the early 2000s, so I had unlimited, unsupervised access to the internet. So I kind of fell down this really like wonderful, weird little rabbit hole.
What did your parents think?
They were not stoked. They definitely were like, "Hey, so what the fuck is this?" Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to,
No, you can swear. It's fine.
You could curse.
Yeah. So there has been in my life like a lot of like resistance to that. Like I don't speak to a lot of my family kind of because of that.
What's the background there? What's their faith? And
so it's kind of all over the place. My father is from Puerto Rico, so Catholicism is like really deep in the culture there.
For sure.
However, they moved here, and I grew up in Virginia, so you have a lot more of the like Baptist, evangelical kind of faith worship aspect. So they were kind of like this very hardcore Catholic, Christian, like weird amalgamation of like, here's what you should believe in, and all of it is something you should fear. And then my mom is Jewish, so she doesn't really care so much. Like she's kind of like, this is not really something I know about, but live and let live. I'm just, you do you, kind of. She's
the Jewish faith is deep in mysticism. I mean, they have their own book, the Kabbalah.
The Kabbalah,
yeah.
And you have to study so much to even be able to understand that. So I think that she was kind of, she like understood where I was coming from and probably thought it was like, something I would grow out of, like as a teenager. And yep, here I am. So not
okay. So, all right. So you have that going on. You
Sure.
discover this out of a Scooby-Doo movie, which is fun, but that's like kid stuff,
Totally
right?
kid
And then
stuff.
you're sort of fascinated by the look and the vibe and the whole thing.
Right.
When did you make a connection with what it really meant to be Wiccan and that sort of spirituality? When did that hit you?
So maybe a couple years later, I actually initiated myself into Wicca at 13 years old on my 13th birthday. I was like,
did you sacrifice something?
Dude, no, I'm just kidding. I'm a vegetarian, so nothing fun, at least some carrots or some beets. I think I made like tea and bread. Cakes and ale is like what you're supposed to like offer, but I was not able to buy beer, so
That's great.
I was like, here's what I can do. And I studied a lot of like the like old school like Wicca, like people like Raymond Buckland. I did read a little bit of like Starhawk, the Spiral Dance, a lot of the stuff that was coming out in the 70s. But I really got like hooked, I guess, or like was really interested, and initiated myself into Wicca through Silver Ravenwolf's book, like Teen Witch or whatever. So very 90s, like very much a framework. It was kind of like, this is Wicca for teenagers. Like it was very poignant and approachable. While I don't necessarily follow the same path, I'm not a Wiccan myself anymore. I just found it was organized religion and I don't quite get along, I like to say.
Sure, I agree. Look, you're talking to people, you're preaching to the choir. You're talking to two like Italians who grew up Catholic or atheists these days. So we get the whole thing.
I hear you, dude.
So all right. So you're in what was that like in? Now, are you in Virginia at this point still, or are you in Pennsylvania?
So I was in Virginia at that point still, and I didn't really talk a whole lot about my spirituality. Like, I think I was maybe the only Wiccan like in school. Like,
what was high school like in Virginia as a Wiccan?
It was not great.
Right.
And I can't complain. I mean, high school is high school is high school, dude. Like when you're
sure.
weird, it doesn't matter if you're a Wiccan or not. It's just kind of like, I was a weird drama kid. So I'm not sure that like correlation and causation aren't necessarily there. I really stepped into and became more of a public witch in college when I was able to like start reading tarot cards for other people. And that's kind of like where I started to learn. I would just sit in the back of bars and like have people pay me for beer money, basically. Like,
sure. You know, and where was this? Where'd you go to school?
I went to Stevenson University right outside Baltimore. So it's like a really small, like liberal arts college. And I got my very useful degree in fashion design. So I don't know. I do really like it. And I think it has helped me with like the store owner like aspect of what I do. But that's kind of where I would say like things started to incubate. And then after I graduated college is really like when I started getting into like the true witchcraft spaces, like following the pandemic and stuff. When I had moved to Pennsylvania because I'd gotten a job. Obviously that job didn't work out, but I'm still here. Right. And I realized, I was like, look, there are no places for witches to really gather.
So did you have a community before we get, because I'm fascinated by the whole thing. So did you find a community in Pennsylvania when you first went there for a job of other people that have these interests, or are you still on your own?
It kind of felt isolated. Like I knew a few stores, and like I live pretty close to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is incredibly haunted, has a lot of like the very witchy paranormal like energy, and has a lot of metaphysical stores. So I started going there, but they didn't have like gatherings, kind of like what I wanted. So one day, while I was in jury duty and had nothing better to do, I came up with this idea of celebrating and publicly celebrating the Wheel of the Year, which is a series of 8 holidays kind of spaced out throughout the seasons. So in 2021, I started that. We met at a local park, honestly, and like had a picnic, to be super real, and did like a little prayer. And even that we were kind of getting like stares at. So it's definitely always been a testy subject, it seems, no matter where I'm at.
Well, sure.
It's something that I'm like, well, I don't know how else to be. So you guys are going to have to deal with that one.
All right. So did you use it to get out of jury duty by chance? Did you say, hey, by the way?
I wish. No, I didn't. They didn't want me anyways. So I sat there for like 8 hours, and then they were like, here's $12. Good luck.
Oh my God. All right. So you start to develop a community there. Sure. You're in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. you're working somewhere but it didn't work out, or when did you decide to become this is your store,
Correct.
right?
Yes. So I started the Serpent's Key in 2023. I had quit a kind of my dead end job, I like to say, and then I started working at a tattoo shop. And while I have tattoos, I don't do it myself. I don't like needles. I don't like blood. I'm really good at making schedules, though. So
Okay, sure.
I answered the phone and I did all of that. And the tattoo artist there really helped me get my store off the ground and really provided a really strong foundation. So I'm really
Sort of like taught you how to be a small business owner.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Yeah, and my parents are small business owners. My dad's a dentist, and my mom kind of ran his practice. So I've always been kind of around entrepreneurs. Not anything like this. This is very different than like root canals, but maybe spiritual root canals, I guess.
Oh my God, that's great.
But
all right,
yeah.
so that you open the shop, and it's been just remind us where in Pennsylvania exactly are you? You still outside of Gettysburg, or?
Yes, we're about 20 minutes away from Gettysburg. We're in Hanover, Pennsylvania. If you ever have seen like Snyder's of Hanover pretzels, that's us. So it's a really small like rural Pennsylvania town, and it's kind of.
I looked it up, and the crime there is super low, super low.
That's why they're coming after me.
Violent crime is really low. Theft is relatively high.
Yeah, because
we are just on average.
Because people are so safe that they don't lock their cars, and then they get stuff.
But it's incredibly quiet.
Yeah,
I mean, I looked it up because I wanted to see why you were getting so. All right, so how long were you open when, and then start getting us into this thing?
Yeah.
How was the shop doing? You had your store, you had a grand opening. How were you doing business wise?
So, back in 2023, like the incidents that we're talking about today actually happened before I was even officially open. So I had not even been open. Like my grand opening was supposed to be on like Halloween of that year. And this happened on the 3rd of October. So it's kind of like I was just doing preliminary, like, hey, guess what? I'm painting the walls and I'm looking for vendors and I'm doing these things. And then that kind of, I guess, got around on social media and all that good stuff. So, but since then, so we opened in 2023. And then, I mean, we're about to celebrate 3 years of being open in 2026. So I'm pleasantly surprised with the trajectory, indeed.
So this happened, you opened with what we're about to get into going on, right?
Correct.
That is crazy. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it, Beck. You're sitting in your shop,
yes.
you're getting things ready. Let's go.
Indeed. All right. So if we want to walk down memory lane, in October of 2023, I was getting my shop set up, like doing all the painting, getting all the permits, like doing all the stuff. When I got an email from a nonprofit that I had been working with called Main Street Hanover. And what they do is essentially like promote and talk about small businesses in our historic downtown, which is where my shop is located. So they do promos. They're great. It's a great I don't know, just organization to have. They had written an article about my shop that had gone out in October because, it's a spooky shop. Like things are, it was a poignant time for things to be to talk about my shop essentially. So October 3rd in the morning, I remember because it was a Tuesday and it was my day off.
It's my birthday.
Right? Look at that. I love it. Happy birthday. Libra season. I had gone into therapy and I came out, I checked my email and I got a letter or like an email from the organizer of the nonprofit that said like, hey, so I don't want to alarm you, but the police chief of Hanover just gave me a call and said that he read our article and because of it, he's going to be stopping by either himself or one of his officers or both just to let you know that tarot reading is illegal and that you can go to jail for this in Pennsylvania. And I was like, okay, like cool, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's stupid, actually. Like, this is insane. Like, I need to turn right back around and go into therapy because this is not at all like what I was expecting to read.
And just so people know, right? Yeah. We are talking about this old law is from
1800s,
if
right?
yeah, so it's from title. I
1861,
think the law is, correct me
when
if
the
I'm
Civil War
wrong,
started.
Beck. Title 18, Section 7104 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes titled Fortune Telling. And it dates back to 1861.
Yep.
And it classifies fortune telling as a third-degree misdemeanor.
Mm-hmm.
And it says if a person pretends for gain or lucre to tell fortunes or predict future events by cards, tokens, the inspection of the head or hands of any person, or in any other manner.
Mm-hmm.
And the penalty of this, the violation can result in 6 to 12 months in prison.
Yep.
And a fine of up to $2,500
Per person, per offense. Yeah.
per offense.
Per offense. So if it's, yes, per offense. So I could theoretically be thrown into jail for, like, you know, a million years if I had a million clients or whatever.
Okay,
Like,
and we're going to talk about this law a little bit more too. But so, all right, so you're sitting in, did they ever show up?
So yes, about 2 days later, the police chief of Hanover himself and another unnamed officer who,
And
like,
this is Police Chief Chad Martin. Correct?
Yes, sir. So he came in, like, in his little Hanover. It wasn't like the official police uniform, but it was like the polo. It said Hanover Borough Department, and he had his service weapon, I believe, as to what I can remember, on his side. So it wasn't like the vest, like with the body cam and stuff, but
a little more, slightly more casual, but you're still obviously a police officer.
Correct. And they were both dressed the exact same. Like, so it was a uniform. Like, unless they were just really matching the khakis that day. I don't know, man. So anyways, himself and another officer kind of came in and, like, backed me to the back of the shop. And I asked them, like, hey man, like, because this is a police interaction, like, I need to record this. And they said, no, you're not allowed to record this. We're not here from the police. This is a personal conversation. To which I said, okay, well, I'm not going to talk to you unless my lawyer's present in that case. And they said, well, we're just trying to have an adult conversation, so it would really behoove you to listen to us. And I said, okay, sir, in wanting to be an adult about this, I'm willing to hear you out. And then I shut up after that. I didn't really say anything. He basically, like, stated the law to me, and he said that while he had not gotten any reports at that point, that the second that he did, he would be back and that I would be thrown in jail and that I would face the full consequences of the law. Now, in my shop, because I really do believe in informed consent, because I am not trying to prey on people, because I don't have time for that, honestly. I have these really big disclaimers around the shop that say, like, I am not a doctor. This is not legal advice. Like, I am not a psychologist. Like, I went to fucking art school, dog. And I don't think anyone thinks otherwise, to be really real with you.
Right. It's the idea of whether you believe, John and I were just talking about this, whether you believe in this or not, you sort of have to say it's for entertainment purposes only, so people don't sue
me. Right, which, like, fine. You know how many other stupid things that I have to do in order to, like, fine. If that is really, like, what it comes down to, I'm willing to put those signs up.
All right, I'm sorry, I interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So prior to all of this, I had actually gone to a couple local, like, shops in town that offered tarot reading. Like, I have had my cards read at other stores in Gettysburg and the surrounding areas. And when I asked them, I was like, hey, how do you get around this weird old law? And I think this woman, like, jinxed me, dude. She looked at me and she held my hands and she goes, oh, honey, I've been in business longer than you've been alive, and I've never had any problems with that. If you're worried about it, just put a sign up. And I was like, something's gonna happen, man. Like, I just knew in
she
that
might have
moment.
been the one. She may have been the one to call the police.
No,
She didn't want
Who
she didn't
knows,
want the
man?
competition.
I don't think so. We have a good rapport, but, like,
Okay.
it was definitely, I think it was the article above all else that really caught the attention.
What did a lawyer tell you? Did putting that sign up, does that squash the case?
So,
or no?
No, unfortunately it doesn't. So when I told him, I was like, well, I have these pieces of paper. He looked at me, he goes, those little pieces of paper will never hold up in court. And I said, okay. And then I immediately, like, prior to this, I had called a lawyer, and they were like, nothing's gonna come of this. Like, this is nothing. Like, this is just call us back if he actually shows up. So when he did show up, I didn't call those people back because they ignored me the first time. And I got in touch with a really wonderful civil rights lawyer who basically, her name's Alexa, and she basically was like, hey, did you know that your First and 14th Amendment rights were just like majorly violated by a like government employee? And I was like, yeah, I guess. She goes, you need to be more angry about that. And I was like, okay, like, so yeah, we've been fighting the borough, essentially like asking them to say like, we're not going to arrest you because we see that this law is stupid. And they like will not back down on that. They're like, no, we have to follow the law to the letter. So in order for us to like not arrest you, you have to like get the law struck from the books. And I'm like, okay, cool. Word.
All right. So now you are,
Mm-hmm.
this is sort of the first, there's no trial per se, obviously,
Right.
but this is sort of the first witch trial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
I was
brought
just
on
thinking that.
by a witch attacking the
witch.
state or the
Yes.
county.
Let's go! No, listen. There have been other witches that before me. I come from a long line of like loudmouth witches. No, I'm just kidding. There are some really incredible people who have been activists since the 70s. One of my favorite witches, who's still alive actually right now, is Selena Fox, and she was one of the first women in the 1970s to say, hey, witchcraft isn't evil, actually. Like, this is earth-based spirituality. And she was on, like, the BBC talking about it in a time where that was unheard of. So, yes, while there might be, yes, the witch is turning the narrative, I think that it's a long history of that as well. And I'm hoping just to be a successful part of that at the very least, you know?
Well, look, the law we're talking about, first of all, if there's any truth to it, was clear. I guess it's debatable, but probably not. It's clearly like a racist law.
Correct. So
designed to attack gypsies.
Correct. The
and
Romani people.
Vagrants and traveling around.
Indeed.
And it was just highly focused on them and
Right.
getting them out of town.
Correct.
So how it holds water for a
For
small business
anyone
owner
else.
today.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. And now I understand. So there was a bill, right, in June of this year that was supposed to repeal this law.
Yes.
What happened there?
So we got it through the judiciary vote, essentially, for it to go to the floor. I was like unaware that this was happening until I reached out to the representative and I was like, hello, I don't know if you know who I am, but I have a feeling that you do if this is the law that you're trying to pass right now. So LOL, can I come say hi? Like, please. So I got to go to the House of Representatives and kind of stand in front of this huge judiciary committee that decided whether or not the bill was going to go to the House floor. Now, since then, I believe that it's been tabled for right now, and hopefully, if we can get folks to call the the Speaker of the House, the Majority Speaker of the House, they will be able to bring it to the House of Representatives for further voting, but it has to be introduced this year. So I'm hoping that it goes through, but it kind of seems like the judicial process is going to be the prime way to get this repealed, but it's nice to have two prongs of government kind of working on it at the same time. So whichever one happens first, I'm happy with.
I guess was my question here. What is your approach to this? Is it from all angles, like I'm a small business owner and they're hurting my business, or is it freedom of religion, or is it what is
I was going to say it's kind of a combo. So
what are the targets, or what's your lawyer doing?
So right now we are defining tarot reading as protected economic speech. That is the term that she's been using. So yes, it does have to do with a lot of things, with religious freedom, 100%, with small business owning. How dare the government tell me what I can do and not do in my own establishment, right? And it is kind of again, the economic speech. You cannot legally interfere with things that are either religious in nature or it's the freedom of speech of just me talking, right? So it is kind of it's a multifaceted issue that really ultimately comes down to the redundancy of the law, because in Pennsylvania, this law has never been prosecuted on its own. It's only ever been tacked on to cases of major fraud. And I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if their flavor of scam was fortune telling, this law can add more time or more of a penalty. However, has never independently been or successfully independently been prosecuted against a single person. So for them to pull this random law out of like a hat with nothing else, like to say that I'm being, I'm telling people that they must pay me $10,000 or else I will not lift the, I don't, if I did
Doesn't it?
that.
Is it just me? Is it just me? This whole situation, does it not feel like there's something else behind the scenes? So hear me out. I go to Gettysburg all the time, right? I just
Totally.
got back from
Great town.
Gettysburg. So when I'm gonna come, I would like to come visit you and check
Please
out the
do.
shop the next
Please
time
do.
I'm in the area, probably like
I would love
February,
that.
March, right? Um, it almost seems like now Handover, it doesn't have. You're the first shop of its kind in there, right?
So we were actually one of 5 that were in Hanover. Yeah. So I really don't know what his issue was. There was
So wait, hold on. The
mhm,
other shops, are they
mhm,
still in existence?
no.
Okay, so
Or they have
I'm
moved.
wondering,
Yeah.
I'm wondering on an economic scale,
Yeah.
if this is a play of the area. So, for example,
Oh,
Gettysburg is not only known, as you said, it's not only known for its ghost shops, but
right.
every time I go to, I mean, ghosts and whatnot, every time I go to Gettysburg, I forget my spirit board. And what
Oh,
do?
totally.
I go into town and I walk
Mhm.
into one of the shops and I
Yep.
pick up a spirit board, right? Every
Yep.
time.
Totally.
Now, I wonder if this whole thing is to stop people like me from going to Hanover
Hanover
instead.
instead. Oh my goodness, that would be some sort. That would be a crazy. I hope not. Oh my goodness, I
I
never even
hope
thought of
not.
it that
But
way. But
listen,
you
I
know,
know how small towns and businesses
yeah,
work, and a lot
yeah,
of them work that way, where it's like, okay, here this is allowed because of the economic setup we have for our
right,
area, but
right.
you're not allowed to do
But
it there, and you're not allowed to do it here.
hmm,
That's because
wow,
this whole thing is ridiculous. What
yes,
they're
it
doing
does
to
seem.
you is
Yeah. Oh,
ridiculous and makes no sense.
well, thank you. Because sometimes
Well,
I'm like, maybe it is me. Like maybe I did
It's not
something.
you.
Like maybe it's because I say the
Definitely
F
not you.
word and have tattoos. Like I don't know, dog.
Yeah,
But
no.
I was going to ask you, Beck, what is that town like? I mean, are they against just sort of how you identify, not only just as a witch but as a person?
Hanover is it is the most interesting place I have ever lived in my entire life. And that sounds weird for a small town. I think I'm a little bit insulated. I do know that there is kind of some folks who don't like us too much or who maybe don't like our spiritual path or don't like that there are a lot of like queer or gay and like trans folks like in my community or think that we're a little bit odd. But I will say, I have been surprised by the amount of people who've been so supportive because when this happened, it was like every single like suburban mom in the area decided that I was like their weird kid. And they were like, no, that's my baby. You stay away. I'm going to buy 2 crystals this time. Like it was really beautiful. So I think that Hanover can get kind of a bad rap, and I hear people talking about how it's like the Wild West, and people are like afraid to come here, and like it's really, but there are really, really good people in Hanover. I moved here not knowing a single person. I can now walk up the street and I know at least 2 or 3 people on my walk to work, like whether they are local business owners or just like the barista from the cafe across the street. Like it is a very like if you are open to like being open, it is very it's a really beautiful place. But there are some mentalities that are stuck in the past. And
Well, yeah,
there
man,
are
that's
some things
Pennsylvania.
that,
Pennsylvania is the south of the north sometimes,
sure.
man, for
And
real.
yeah, growing up in Virginia, I was like, oh my God, great. It's north of the Mason-Dixon. I'll be great. And then I got here and I was like, why are there more Confederate flags than at home? What's happening?
No, you went to the worst place,
Yeah.
for this,
Right.
for sort of that liberal mindset. What, Beck, has this fight that you're doing,
Yeah.
can you, I mean, you're a small business owner. I mean, I don't know, you like riding on dentist money or something?
No,
Like,
dude,
how can you fight this? How can you keep this going?
Crystals.
If you have,
Yeah, right.
Crystals, baby,
My dad
crystals.
would fucking cackle if he heard you say that because he would be the furthest person. But no, I'm really lucky that my lawyer's actually working pro bono. So I am.
Oh,
She's just
nice.
like no, this is fucking stupid, and it's a law that is old and doesn't need to be there. It's a constitutional case. So it's not just I'm not getting any money out of this. Like, I'm not getting a settlement. I'm not asking for like loss and like harm and like what, because I don't care. I just want to be
Essentially,
able
you're just asking to be left alone.
dog, for real. I just want to be left alone
Left
to do my
alone.
craft, and like be and for other people to be left alone, because I guarantee you fewer people are bigger assholes than I am. And like, if this happened to somebody else, like, I couldn't live with myself if I had the opportunity to do something and then didn't, and then
And
someone else actually went to jail, or like for dumb reasons. Like, I'm not talking about, again, I really disavow the scammers, like the people who like slide into people's DMs. They're like, "Grand rising, beloved. I sensed an aura around you," and I'm like, dude, I don't even talk like that.
yeah,
Like,
I
and then
deal
they're
with that all the
charging
time.
more than me, and I'm like, whoa! I
No.
thought $20 was a lot. Shit, dude.
Yeah, yo, Beck. Two things real quick that you're gonna crack up laughing.
Yeah.
Because I have a big TikTok and Instagram and
Mhm.
all that.
Dude,
People
yeah.
copy my name and
Yeah.
go into other people's DMs saying those exact things,
Yeah,
right?
dude,
And I would
that has
never
been
talk
happening to
like
me
that.
for 4 years, dude.
Yeah.
For
So
sure,
it's
for sure.
insane. And the second thing, the second thing I've noticed about that whole area
Mhm.
is, since I now document Gettysburg and I go every couple of months, I
Yeah.
get two reactions from people when I'm calling up
Mhm.
information, this,
Mhm.
that, and the other.
Mhm.
One, they are so interested and so supportive
Yep.
about what I do. And the
Mhm.
other, they get extremely
There.
nasty.
Yep.
They want nothing to do with it. It's wild. So like, I get what you're
I
saying.
hear
I've
you.
experienced that. It's
We
wild over there.
we tried to, because I'm really all about working within the community. I love Hanover. Like, I really, really do. And one of the things that I wanted to do was start a Hanover ghost tour, because there's so much history here that has to do with the Civil War and beyond, right? And we went to the Historical Society. My friend, who's a professional researcher and used to curate for the Poe Museum in Baltimore, like, she went up and went to go talk to them. She asked if they had any like hauntings or ghost stories. They handed her a single like file with a single piece of paper in it, and the head of the Hanover Historical Society looked at this woman and said, "We're good people. We don't have ghosts in Hanover."
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, like,
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
definitely there were definitely some
Mm.
like other librarians though that I was like, "Hey, I know that you know something. Can we
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
this?" And they were super helpful. They were like, "Go to chapter 13 in this book on the," you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I definitely feel like you have to know who to ask. And weirdly,
Ask.
I think a lot of this comes from the tradition of Pennsylvania Dutch powwow, because it was very secretive, it was very underground, and it was very much kind of like, well, you don't ask for these things, you get invited to this, or like, you just know, or you are in the know. Not saying that that's like what is happening with everybody, but I feel like, especially from like moving up here from Virginia, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a little bit different.
Let me get a little woo woo for a second.
Sure.
Just because
Please.
we are a paranormal
I was gonna
podcast
say,
here in a
this is my
sense, but
job.
have you found, one,
Mhm.
you said you've been hit with a lot of positivity
Yeah.
from the community,
Mhm.
right? And obviously you're still in this fight, so
Mhm.
there is some animosity. But what do you feel in terms of like your success or your shop, or you seem in great spirits?
Thank you.
Do you feel like energy and and all of that, is it affected you in the positive? Is the shop doing better?
Sure.
Because of the attention, or
Oh,
what's the?
yeah. I think that is less. Unfortunately, I know you're like trying to get woo woo, but I think that all press is good press. You know what I mean? So I'm very
Sure.
grateful that this is put out, like, the word. But I do think that, like, before I started my shop, I went to Salem, Massachusetts, and Salem's super cool, but I am a Virgo, so I was like, I can do this better, obviously, which like is not actually it. Like, I do really love Salem. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be shady or anything. I think it's a really
Right.
wonderful place. But I came back and I was like, I kind of made, I don't want to say like a pact, but like a promise to a goddess, Hecate, the goddess of witches and crossroads. And ironically, my shop is right outside the biggest like four-way intersection in town. But I said basically, like, if you help me with this, I will establish your sanctuary in this space. And I just need the people to come. And I don't think that there is any better like bat signal to put out other than, hey, guess what? They're trying to arrest me for witchcraft in the 21st century. You
Century.
know?
Yep.
So fantastic, so wild.
Yeah, I think that in a lot of ways, like I truly believe that I was not given anything more than I could handle. Like I think that at the time and as we have grown, like I've kind of stepped into it, but it has been a struggle. Like I do come off like, yay, happy, positive all the time. Because that is kind of like what the space brings to me. Like I do feel a lot of joy, like, and even talking and like sharing my story. But on the flip side, dude, it's like really difficult to be in the public eye sometimes. Like I'm not like, and especially in a small town, like there was a period of time where like I was not able to like leave my house. Like I couldn't go to like Target to get toothpaste without someone being like, hey, you're the girl on TV with the crystal shop, aren't you? Which is great. And again, I was really grateful.
Yeah, but it's like, you don't know where that's going with that.
Right.
Yeah,
It was kind of like
you sometimes just want to go get your toothpaste without being bothered.
Sure.
But
and
look,
again, no one was ever bothering me. I never want to come across that way, but it definitely, like, as an introvert and someone with like major anxiety, it's been a challenge.
I can imagine. Yeah. And let's face it, you know, this world is not known for its, you know, people who are not crazy. You know, like, you know, we got a lot of crazies.
Right. So
you know,
always
a lot more
careful.
Crazies than non-crazies.
Indeed.
You know, in this
and especially
space.
In this area, I just like to be careful. And I unfortunately like kind of have a notable look about me. So, you know, I would wear my normie clothes. I used to say, like, steal my boyfriend's hoodie. I'm like, it's not black. They won't know.
Do you, that's funny. Do you, I mean, are you, I don't want to get you, well, look, we're not airing this yet, but are you practicing? Are you giving readings? And
absolutely.
Do you make them sign something, you know, though, beforehand? Kind of. Like, this is for, like, how do you do it just to protect yourself?
So I'm actually the only person in Pennsylvania who can legally offer tarot readings right now because I have what's called a joint stipulation, which says that as long as I am challenging this in court, they cannot use the law against me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But that took me over a year to fight for. For a while, I just was like, well, we're rolling the dice, dude. Like, if they come in and drag me out, like, I guess that's it, you know? But I didn't think that they were actually going to do that after everything blew up. It would be very stupid for them to try to, like, continue. But because I have, it's, again, a joint stipulation, I believe, where it's just kind of like, okay, we see what you're doing and what you're trying to say, and for this temporary period of time, we will leave you alone. But after that, all bets are off. And I can only read cards within the borough of Hanover, conveniently where my shop is. But sure. Anything outside of that, like, then, you know, if I'm in York, then the York police could come get me. You know what I mean? So right. I have some stipulations and stuff, but there are ways that I've been able to work around it. And ultimately, like, it is a law. I don't want to like give advice because I can't, but it is a law that like most police officers are not going to enforce because like they have more crime to deal with, like more actual crime, you know?
No, the whole thing is strange. Yeah. The fact that you have to put up with it is strange. But John, could you imagine like some sting operation against Beck? Like this is like a bunch of guys sitting around. Imagine a bunch of Pennsylvania cops sitting around going like, how are we going to get this witch?
Right.
We're gonna get like we're gonna bring it undercover. Like
we're gonna have a good time.
Right. We've set up this sting operation. She's infiltrated Beck's inner circle.
Right.
They're gonna get a tarot reading in the moment. They're all sitting out in vans with their headphones
with,
on.
Headphones on. They're like about your book.
The money exchanges. The first And then it's like, go, go, go.
Right.
And they start kicking in doors.
All units.
Well, think about it like this.
Like they
right? They kept swinging in through the window to stop you from tarot card reading. How dangerous.
Taxpayers' money,
dude,
that is being wasted.
I know,
right
man.
now.
I know, man.
All of this is ridiculous.
Man. And I hate to be the drama. Like, I really do. Because
you should be the drama with this, my friend.
No. This is good drama.
No. Right. You are the drama with this, and I love every second of it.
I know. It's so fascinating to me.
Thank you. It's also why we try to give back so much to the community, because I am, like, aware that this does take, like, resources away from, like, things that
That's not your fault.
Really important.
That's not your fault. Yeah. It's not your fault.
At least we can do our best to balance the scales. That's kind
Yeah.
of what our philosophy is, indeed.
That's awesome that you're doing that too, but that's not your fault at all. This has nothing. You did nothing wrong.
Well,
No,
Absolutely
this is the
nothing
kind
wrong.
of story for John and I is the kind of story that, like, you know, this is the Italian Alzheimer's, right?
Sure.
We only remember the grudges and we want to get in on it and like just sort of
Yeah.
we would never let this go. It's like,
Never.
what?
Yeah.
Never let it's like you have to be out
told
of your
me-
mind.
They told me it could take up to 10 years, and I said, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be 36 at the latest. Okay. Whatever, man. Like, I'll do it. Like,
Well,
fuck
listen,
it. Sign me up.
Beck, when I head to Gettysburg in a couple of months, I'll be there. Like I said, February,
Please
March.
do.
We're going to meet up. I'm going to come to your shop. Maybe we'll do a little, ghost hunting. Talk
I
to some
love it.
spirits, and we will
Yeah.
I will bring this to the attention of my community
Cool.
again, not
Thank
just through
you.
this podcast, but through my live as well, because
Thank you.
it deserves it. It deserves it. And then let them come for us. What are they going to do? We
Right.
can't ghost hunt either.
Right. Oh my goodness. Can you
So
imagine?
crazy.
No,
So
Beck,
far.
what do you think about ghosts? You ever go to Gettysburg and go ghost hunting?
I love ghost hunting. I actually did like 3 years ago. And I don't want to start any beef or drama. I was just asked to show up. But Sam and Colby, like the ghost hunter like duo on YouTube,
Mhm.
they
Sure.
had me come
They're
along.
huge.
Yeah, they had me come along on some sort of like ghost hunt in it was in Maryland. It was the Haunted Boys School that burned down in it's like in Patapsco State Park. So I love ghost hunting. I have had multiple like mediums and psychics like in the shop who I bring them to my apartment because I am very sure that it has like an inhabitant, shall we say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most likely, everywhere's haunted, so most likely.
Everywhere.
So-
And the house was built in 1836. Like, come on
Oh,
now.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
So Beck, we ask everybody this on the podcast,
Yeah.
and we ask you too. What do you think spirits are?
Ooh, that is a good question. Energy is like my biggest answer, and I know that's kind of a cop-out. I think that there are many types of spirits. Like, I think that you have spirits that are maybe like stuck or recorded, like the stone tape theory or whatever. You have spirits who are intelligent, who are just like, what the heck? And like have maybe something that are tied here. And then we have, I believe, like entities that kind of come in between like our world and the next, like when we need guidance. So like our ancestors, or if we're summoning a particular deity or spirit or entity from another realm or dimension, without getting too woo-woo for you.
No,
What
get
is that?
woo-woo.
What?
Yeah,
No, no, it's like
I document this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
There
all right.
is
So a couple things.
black,
With
white, and everything in between. Trust me.
Yeah.
Right, the stone theory that you're talking about, that's what, if you talk to like parapsychologists, they'll say that's a haunting, right? That's an imprint.
Right.
Like energy gets imprinted on it. You could be a
Right.
living person and leave your energy on something, and then it's like a recording that's a little
Right.
loop, right? And then, so when you start talking about other entities, I've talked to some people, they'll start talking about other dimensions or quantum dimensions.
Sure.
And then there's past life regressionists
Sure.
who think of it as, everything everywhere all at once, where these different timelines. Where would you say, what do you think, where do you fall? Are you in that sort of realm? Because past life regression is, as I've come to learn, is a misnomer. They don't really
Right.
mean like I was
Right.
this back then.
Back
it means
then,
I am this
Yeah.
in another timeline.
So
But
when,
what do you think about all
when
that?
I think too hard about it, it kind of hurts my brain. So apologies. Yeah, like quantum
Sure.
physics. Someone tried like explaining quantum physics to me, and I cried. I was like, I don't like it. Put it away. Put it away. I was getting psychic damage, just like.
Right.
But I think, like, I very much think that it is very much the everywhere, everything, all the time, whatever, like where time is fake and made by men, but or at least our perception of it is. So I think that who am I to say what spirit actually is? I am just here to communicate what they have to say. Like that's mostly my job. I am the medium, shall we say, not like a psychic medium, but I like to think that there are people who can kind of tap into those patterns or tap into that energy in the same way that people are really, really good at like algebra or really, really good at learning a new language. So I think it's more of like like an energy that people can be sensitive to, and whatever form that takes, I think is dependent on the situation and the things that have happened there. Indeed.
What's your
That makes
favorite
sense.
type of divination tool? If you
I'm a
had to
tarot
pick
reader.
one, tarot
Yeah,
reader.
I'm a
Okay.
tarot reader. That is my go-to. That's my classic. But other than that, I really like fire scrying, which is using like a
What is that?
flame
Yes.
to scry information. So
Yep.
it's kind
Yep.
of
Wait,
like looking uh
yeah,
Yeah,
tell me
you have
what
to
that
explain.
is.
You have to
I've never
explain.
even.
Yeah, you have to break it
that's
down
okay.
for
I have
Gary.
no idea what that is.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So scrying is a practice, often done with like a crystal ball. So when you see someone gazing into a crystal ball, they're looking for images to appear to them and for them to interpret that. That is one method of scrying. Fire scrying, I like a little bit more because it involves like focusing your attention on a flame and seeing what shapes like appear to you. I use a lot of movie references. So if you guys have seen like the Chronicles of Narnia, like where they're like looking in the fireplace and then the lion comes out of like the embers, it's
Sure.
not like that exactly, but that is as close as I can get in terms of like visually, this is kind of what it's supposed to be. So it's a practice that actually like dates back to like ancient Greece and previous to that, most likely in like Neolithic and Paleolithic culture, which is
Oh,
cool.
100%. 100%.
Like thinking
So it's
about
like you
like
sit there, you would sit there
Mhm.
with a client or with
Mhm.
someone, and you would like light something on fire in front of you, or is it just a
So
candle, or what is
usually
it?
a candle. I don't really perform scrying for clients. It's not something. It's like a personal practice for myself, and I think
Oh,
it's important for practitioners to have kind of a divide. So I use tarot in general, like in my life and with other people, but kind of fire scrying and that intense meditation and focus is something that I think is a little bit more personal and not something that I would necessarily like. While I could offer it as a service, I would not get the. I don't know. It just wouldn't be. It wouldn't be as fun for me, I think.
but tarot. How long have you been studying that?
Man, I conned my grandmother into buying me my first tarot deck at 13. So
No.
yeah, I saw it at a gift shop and she was like, "You could pick out anything you want." And I was like, "Bet." Yeah, I was like, "I want that." And she was like, "You sure you don't want a sketchbook?" Like, yeah,
Nope. That.
yeah, I was like, "No, give me the dark magic." No,
Yeah.
so I learned on a very old school tarot deck. It was actually a reproduction of one that was used in like Renaissance Italy. So it was not like the best for learning on because it didn't make a whole lot of sense. But I have since found other decks that have worked a little bit better. So I started teaching myself when I was a teenager, and I'm now like 28. So I don't think that I would say that I have been professionally reading tarot cards for about 5 years. But even before, well, maybe more than that. Jesus Christ, when did I? 8 years. Oh my God. Yeah, about 8 years that I've been reading for other people. So,
And do you like? And how do you? So you sort of self-taught. You read books on it, or you
yeah,
watch other people do it. Do you get idea? Do you have teachers who are like, no, this is what? Or do you ever read conflicting things where people are
totally.
like, no, this card means this and this means that, and then how do you decide what's what?
So I tend to I pull information from a lot of different sources and then try to find like the common denominator there. So I actually, here, I can show it to you. Ooh, excuse me. I have a book here that I bought when I was like 17. This is The Key to the Tarot, and this was written in 1918. So this is like an old school, if you can see it, the copyright,
Mm-hmm.
1918. And they have like here, for example, a picture of the tarot card and what it means from 1918. So I went through and I studied this book a lot. Most tarot decks come with their own manual as well. And then I am a staunchly Gen Z, so YouTube was really helpful. And I feel like I know the meanings of the cards, like the traditional meanings, but there's also kind of an intuitive understanding that you get when you use this tool so much. So I think it's a little bit of a combination of like practice of like, okay, this is what this symbol means in this context, and also feeling out the energy. So I'm not just reading flashcards. Like I'm like kind of understanding the energy that's going into what I'm looking at as well. The symbols just kind of help me piece together the story, if that makes sense.
Do
So
you have
Beck,
clients where they
ha-
come? Oh, sorry, John. One thing, real quick. Do you have clients that come in and you do a tarot reading for them, and it's like always the same? Like you can't shake it. Like they can't shake what they're hoping for, and it's like, look, man, I'm sorry. You're just like you're stuck in this.
Yeah, so I kind of have a rule with clients. Like if they start like if they come in too regularly, I will just say no. Like if they are like every week trying to, because the cards are not going to change until you do, right? So I think that yes, there are certain, and myself included, like patterns that we can get stuck in. But when that happens, like it is then kind of up to me to determine, okay, when does this not become a helpful tool for this person? Like what is my like line there? And it's usually when they're like, but I just need to know about this, but I just need to know about this. Like if you just tell me this one piece of information, I'm like, oh, I can't possibly know that. Like like, unfortunately, I am not like a, like Google, I guess. Like I can't just plug things in and be like, what is this?
Sure.
So when that happens, I try to maybe like counsel people, not counsel, that's not the right word. Cause I'm not like giving them official advice by any means, but we work with other spiritual solutions. Like, hey man, like I see that you're stuck in this anxiety spiral. Like, yeah, we can read tarot cards, and we can also do like, I can offer you some crystals, but like, here's a number for a therapist because I think this is actually what's going to help you. Like, this is like the most important card that you're getting today. So right. I think
it'd be funny if you pulled it out of the deck. Like,
so
what's this, doctor?
I made a TikTok last week, and this actually happened to me. I like started therapy, and they gave me like my information packet with all the resources and stuff in it, right? And I had thrown all of this into my bag because I was rushing. I threw my tarot deck in there, and I went to go grab it. And literally the like crisis center, like, do you need help? You're not alone. Like, call us now was like sticking out of my deck. And I made a TikTok about it. So like that has happened to me purely out of my own laziness, I think, but it was really funny.
Or it speaks to it.
Indeed.
John, sorry, I cut you off before.
No, it's all good, Gary. So Beck, listen, have you polished up, a bronze scrying mirror yet? Took a deep look into it and said, yo, I am a witch and I am going after the government. Hey, have you done that yet? Because what you're doing, this entire thing is so epic. It's
Thank
not
you.
even funny. And listen, I know you're being humble. And you're saying all these other witches that have come before you. But let me tell you something. This is the opposite. This is you taking the fight to them. And I think that is epic.
Thank you so much.
I just had to say it again. I think it's incredible, But have you had that conversation with yourself yet? Like literally took a deep look in and went, this is what I'm doing and I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, I had to have a pretty deep conversation with myself about halfway, like maybe I would say like this time last year of like, no, you have to finish this, man. Like you have to do this. Like, no, like I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's just like, this is the path. So you have to walk it until it's done. So I think that not to be like, I've always known that something like this was going to happen, but I've always had like weird shit like this happen to me. Like my grandparents, when I was 13, because I was getting into witchcraft and like evanescence, I guess, like they literally believed I was possessed by the devil and like tried to perform an exorcism on me. Like in the family, dude. Yeah, dude.
So
yeah, my brother's 10th birthday party. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Don't apologize, because you know what? That's what made me be able to look the police chief in the face and say, try me. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes, I know exactly
all
what
of
you
these
mean.
things. Yeah, all of these things that have happened to me or that I've had to go through, I think were kind of like leading up to, okay, this is like what you're supposed to do in this iteration of yourself. So I don't know if this is like my true purpose. Like I don't profess to be like this could have happened to anybody, but it happened to me.
But it happened to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why it has to be done.
Yeah. Beck, so what's the tarot card? What's the tarot card you'd pull right now that would represent this current state of your legal battle?
Ooh, current state of my legal battle. Dude, oh my god. Fucking Eight of Wands reversed. It is so I am in stagnant hell, dude. They so the basically Pennsylvania doesn't want this case to go to trial. Like they keep
No, of course
trying to
not.
dismiss it. Like they keep trying to the judge randomly retired and then the case got kicked back to the beginning. Like it they like I'm like in the doldrums, right? Like I'm just waiting for the next step. And I've been in this waiting stage since August of last year of 2024. So
So it's the Eight of
yeah, the Eight of
Wands
Wands reversed,
Reversed.
which is kind of
reversed.
things slowing down, which is just means it's upside down.
Okay.
Cards have different meanings, however you're looking at them. But yes, I would say definitely just kind of I'm in the swamps of it all.
Think of
All
a
right.
think of a tray who's stuck but not sinking.
Right, exactly.
Did you say Treyu?
Yeah, Treyu from Never Ending Story. The
I
scene
got
with
it,
the
yes.
horse and
I got it.
Why? Don't give up
I
on
mean,
me.
some of our younger viewers might not understand that reference,
They
but if
might
not,
not
look
No,
up
I
right.
the
got
damn
you.
movie. It's great. You
Yes.
know.
Right.
So what's your favorite crystal? If you had to pick a crystal, one that
Favorite crystal.
let's say you were able to get a massive,
Oh,
500-gram crystal
yeah.
to put as soon as you walk into your house. What would you want on display?
I would probably pick Labradorite.
Okay,
I
okay, that's a
I
pretty
love
one.
Labradorite.
Yeah.
The flash on it, the way that it looks, I am such a sucker for Labradorite. I think it's so
Okay.
pretty.
Okay. Cool.
I have
Cool.
no idea what that looks. I have to look this up
It
later.
looks yeah, you should look it up. It's really
Yeah.
pretty. It has this really gorgeous flash. It reminds me of dragon scales or something.
Yeah.
Really.
Labrador,
When
like the
you,
dog,
Yeah, like the
Labrador
dog.
light,
yeah.
Labradorite. Yep.
Labradorite.
Yeah,
All
because
right, check it out.
that's a good one because then you can pick the lighting and you can pick how you can pick how it perceives when you're walking from one side to
Exactly.
another
It's
and
very
straight ahead.
mystical.
Look at you,
Yes,
Mr. Crystal. I
yes,
didn't know you.
yeah.
Look at you. I
I
didn't
love
know
it.
you could take the Pepsi challenge of crystals, John, and
Yeah,
figure that out. Know what's
I
what?
listen.
Mr.
I got a
Crystal.
little bit of the tisms. I pick up rocks off the ground and put them in my
You
pocket
and
every
me
now and then.
both. Listen.
Yeah, let me
Dude,
tell
I'm
you
a myth
something.
for a living.
Huh. Oh
Yeah.
my
No,
God.
I have a fondness for. I used to have a huge crystal collection that the
Beautiful.
spirits here destroyed, which is a whole
Oh
nother
no.
story.
Oh
Yeah,
no. I'm
yeah,
so
real bad.
sorry.
And then
Oh,
and
rough.
then the ones that survived, I ended up just mailing them out to
Yeah.
my followers, saying, "Here, I can't
Yeah.
keep these anymore because they're gonna get destroyed." Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. But oh yeah, I love
Mm,
rocks, crystals, minerals, all that fun stuff. I love
indeed.
citrine. I think that's just a very
Me
pretty
too.
one. I like that style of quartz. Amethyst.
Hmm.
I'm a sucker for the classics. And clear quartz.
Yeah, amethyst.
There's something about
Clear
clear
quartz is my
quartz.
second.
Yeah, the fact that you could take clear quartz, two of them, and bang them together, and you get a spark. I just love it. Trading those
It's cool.
electrons. It's I don't
It's
know. I
so
have a
cool. It's
yeah, it
it's
really is.
the queen of crystals, indeed.
Yeah, 100%.
My God.
So if you had to pick a book
Okay.
for somebody to read that is up and coming into witchcraft or discovering their spirituality, what would you
Sure.
direct them to? What would be your go-to for them?
So I have two answers to this.
Other than the
And
United
I think
States Constitution,
Other than
yeah,
that
the
you need
that,
to
United States
clearly know
Constitution is
yeah,
number
yeah.
one. Yeah.
to know your rights.
So there are two books that I really like right now. The first one is called Year of the Witch by Temperance Alden. And
Okay.
it talks about how to create your own practice based on the seasons, but not necessarily the wheel of the year. Because depending on where you're living in the United States, it may not the things that we're doing in March for the spring equinox, you might have done 3 months ago because you're living in Florida and now
If
it's
you're living in
summertime.
Florida.
Do you know what
Yes.
I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
So it's kind of it's great for anybody, anywhere, even in the Southern Hemisphere. I have a lot of folks who are Australian who are on the opposite timeline of us, So it's kind of well, this is good for anybody. The other one that I really, really like is called Psychic Witch by Matt Oren. And it sounds a little bit advanced. What do you mean? Am I going to be moving things with my mind? No, it's mostly like protecting your energy and kind of learning how to interact with energetic fields or people or situations in the world around you. So it has a lot of good like protection. It has a lot of good instruction on connecting with your intuition and really getting into the foundations of that. So I think these two books, whether it is if you're more into like nature and stuff, The Year of the Witch is great. But if you're more into the like science and mental and maybe less of the, if you don't like dirt so much, maybe the Psychic Witch one. So
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, this was great.
Beck,
This is great.
This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Where can people find you?
Totally.
We'll put all this stuff. We'll put this stuff up. I know you're on TikTok. You're on Instagram.
Yes. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Stitching Witch? Is that what it is?
As the Stitching Witch. I got my degree in fashion design, so I've had that handle for a little bit. But so everywhere on Instagram as The Stitching Witch with underscores, TikTok as The Stitching Witch. I have a YouTube channel that I haven't updated in a little bit, but if anyone wants to find longer form content about witchcraft from like 2 years ago, I did a series where I did a video every day for an entire year. So if they're interested, there's like 400 of them.
Nice.
Then
That's a long year.
it is a long year, dude. Then what else? I have the shop is under the Serpent's Key on Instagram and Facebook, just for like the local folks as well. So yeah.
All right. Well, cool. I'm going to put all those up for us. They'll be in our bios and everything else.
I'll shoot you next time I'm in the area. I'll shoot you a message back on TikTok, and we'll get together.
Wherever.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good.
Thank you so much. Good luck with this case. We'll certainly be following it. Keep us posted.
Thank you.
It is an amazing thing you're doing. It's not. You don't just have to be a witch to appreciate it. I mean, it's just anybody's right to just do their thing, and it's like to be bothered.
I'll tell you what. I've had
where's common sense? Where's the common sense?
I've had a lot of folks who, come in with their red MAGA hats and stuff, and will come in and say, "Hey, I don't really understand what you're doing here, or like what you have going on, but I will fight for your right to do it." And that's literally like all they say, and they walk out. And I'm like, "Cool, man. Like, I guess that's cool." So it's good to like see that it's a non-partisan issue. Like, it could have happened and it is kind of something that I think we all can agree, like, hey, that's probably not an okay thing to have happen. So I think it's as negative as it could have been. I'm very grateful for the positivity that this has yielded, because I think it has given people an opportunity not only to understand a little bit more what we do here and like what witchcraft actually is, but has given us the opportunity to be the face and say like, no, we're not actually scary, evil people. Like, you're allowed to come here, and I'm not going to bite your head off if you ask me a silly question, quote unquote, because I don't believe them. So.
Right. No, I'm with you. I wish you the best of luck with this. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course,
Thank you.
course.
It was truly a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I will see you soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's it for another episode of Splintered Spirits. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay curious.